This video is about Great Britain 80 most valuable and rare postage stamps. The first is British Guiana 1C Magenta, issued in 1856. This was printed on pink paper with no perforations. Penny Red stamp 1841. This piece was in circulation until 1879. Next is 6D Pale Dull Purple Edward VII stamp, issued in 1904. There were less than 20 sheets of this specimen. Penny Black stamp 1840. Despite the fact that the market is rich in this stamp, the one that was issued first is very rare. 2D Tyrone Plum stamp 1910. This rare stamp shows a portrait of King Edward VII. Now 1 pound brown lilac stamp 1884, and those that feature the original gum are very rare. Rose's Error stamp 1978 with no face value. This mistake was spotted and the sheets were destroyed. Now 1882 1 pound brown lilac on blued paper, lettered EF. It is estimated that only 20 to 30 examples exist. 1883 10 shilling grey green on blued paper and lettered EH. It is with original gum. Penny blue sheet issued in 1840. These stamps were issued to replace the famous penny black. And next is 1882 5 pound bright orange stamp, and this was sold at Cherrystone auction for $26,000. 2 penny blue stamp 1840. This peculiar stamp was sold for $14,000 US. Next is 1D Black Prince Consort Essay 1850. This was designed by the artist Robert Edward Branston. Next is Postal Union Congress stamp 1929. This is the second commemorative stamp of the country. Now this is Queen Victoria stamp 2 shilling brown lightly mounted mint with good deep color. Next is 1880 2 shilling brown. Now it is very fine and fresh, unused with original gum and lettered EG. This is 1870 10 shilling grey green with watermark Maltese cross. It is imperforate and on plate 1. Next is 1D black plate 5 horizontal pair and letter KJ and KK. These are lightly mounted. Next is 1869 Queen Victoria 6D mauve, and these are 10 stamps letter AJ. This stamp is 9D stop on plate 5 abnormal, and it is fine mounted mint with good color and well centered. This is 2 shilling brown lettered AE. It is a fine, fresh, lightly mounted mint example with good deep color. This is 2D pale blue, and it is mint never hinged and has watermark inverted. Next is Treasury Roulette Penny Red 1D plate 170. Cover 1852 London. Next is our Chief GPO Secretary 1950 retirement postcard 42 years NFS. Now this is 1D black plate 10 lettered CI. It is a fine fresh lightly mounted mint example with original gum. This is 10 shilling cobalt and SG number is 182. It is a fine mint example with certificate. Next is 1882 specimen 1 pound Queen Victoria on blue paper. It is a mint example with original gum and is extremely fine. This is Queen Victoria 1 shilling green tie WW2, a fine fresh mounted mint example. 5D purple and blue Jubilee Queen Victoria stamp with watermark inverted, mounted mint example. 1884 10 shilling cobalt on white paper, superb used example with an upright Paddington London cancel. Now 1 pound lilac on blued paper. It is very fine used example with an Edinburgh CDS cancel. Now this is 2D steel blue plate 1 Queen Victoria stamp. It is lightly hinged and mint. Now 5 pound orange on blued paper. It is very fine used example with an upright London CDS cancel. 1870 New South Wales diadem proof in dull purple. Now it is a fine copy with certificate. 1924 1.5D dead peach cutter pair, and it is unmounted mint example with 4 large margins. 1D black plate 7 letter KF. It is a fine fresh mounted mint example with 4 margins. 10D deep red brown die 3, a very fresh mounted mint example with fine to large margins. Now this is Great Britain penny black lettered AA. It is bright blue undated cancel. Next is now 10 shilling cobalt on white paper, very fine used example with a Glasgow CDS July 8th cancel. Next is 1915 D Lario 10 shilling deep intense bright blue unmounted mint example. This is SG number 025 and it is 5 shilling bright carmine. It is fine and used example. Now 2011 unique printers trial wild focus animal. It is post and go unmounted mint example. 1966 birds phosphorus missing greenish yellow unique arrow block unmounted mint example. Next is 1 pound dull blue green Waterloo seahorse unmounted mint example and SG 404. Now this is 5D dull purple and ultramarine. It is a fine used example and is very scarce. Now this is 2 shilling brown variety inverted watermark. It is a very fine used example of the seldom seen variety. 2D intense bright orange Royal Cipher Control Q21 and it is accompanied with certificate. 10D dull purple and carmine. It is a fine used example. This was sold for $4,400. Now this is SG number 135 10 shilling grey green. It is watermarked. Next is 10 shilling greenish grey very fine used example with a Liverpool CDS cancel and it has good color. Now 10 shilling grey green with watermark anchor and it is also very fine used example. 1870 1.5D rosy mauve issued in 1860 and it is a fine mint example with certificate. 1856 6D color trial imperforate in green on thin card crown cancel. Now 1840 2D blue plate 1 lettered NA and it has inverted watermark. It is a very fine used example. Now this is SG number 082. It is cast 1 shilling green and carmine Queen Victoria stamp and it is fine and used. Great Britain 1970 10 penny to 1 pound decimal machine definitives. Super unmounted examples. 1952 Tudor 1D tet page cutter pair with bottom marginal unmounted. Next is 2D deep blue variety with inverted watermark. It is unmounted mint example and is very rare. Next is 6D 2 times 8 mm blue phosphorus on the cream typo LP. Now this is 1936 KE 8.5D imperforate pair and watermark inverted. Now this one is UK King Edward VII stamp and it is a used pair issued in 1902. Next is 1858 1D plate 112 imperforate very fine used example with 4 margins. Next stamp from Great Britain is 1902 Board of Education 2.5D kiwi colored and it is very rare. Half D Jubilee error printed on the gum side and watermark is inverted. Next stamp is Queen Victoria 6D mauve plate 8 never hinged mint example and was sold for $2,600. This is 1840 rainbow colored trial of May 1840 1D red corner marginal example in superb condition. Now this is a specimen stamp 1D and it is very rare. This was sold for 95,000 US$. Next is 1882 shilling brown mint example with inverted watermark and this was sold for $49,500. Now this is 1D SG number 358 error stamp with control M only and it is a strip of 3. 1966 technology stamp 6D and it is SG number 702B variety. Now 2.5D Prussian blue, only 3 sheets are known and this one is with certificate. Next is very rare 1913 Waterloo 1 pound deep dull blue green used block of 4 SG number 404. 1969 Great Britain error stamps with D omitted and only 6 examples exist. Next is 5 shilling bright carmine inverted watermark. It is a superb unmounted mint example. Now this is 1976 telephone 8.5p imperforate pair in the unique slender positional block. 1973 Great Britain £6,000 error stamp. Sepia color is omitted. It is mint, never hinged. Now this is SG number 598A variety, £1, black on chalk surface paper, Queen Elizabeth II stamp. 1937 1T SG number 463, and it is a Tet Beach pair with gutter. Next is 2.5T blue with inverted watermark. It is a superb unmounted mint example. Next stamp from Great Britain is Ocean Liners 2004 imperforate sheet with 53 pence and 53 instead of 57. 1970 error stamp 1 shilling 60 literary anniversary with missing gold color. Next stamp is 2 by 60 black brown with watermark inverted, and it is a very scarce error, sold for $4,400. Bahamas 1937 coronation imperforate set of 3 on gummed watermark paper. This is 3D post office tower, olive yellow on tower omitted, and it is a fine unmounted example. Now BBC anniversary yellow omitted error stamp, and this was sold for $3,800. Next one is 1883 gourmet parcel QV90 mint never hinged, and it is very rare. This one is from Great Britain 1883 gourmet parcels QV 90. It is mint never hinged and is very rare. This is 1 shilling and it should be orange, but this is dull yellow. It is a error stamp 1998. 1973 Explorers 9P SG number 927C variety grey black color is omitted. Next is 1966 error stamp 4D British birds ordinary block missing yellow. 1991 Belfast roses black printed double error, and it is in pristine condition with original gum. Half T to 2 by 60 set of 8 imperforate stamps, all in pristine fresh original gum example with back stamp. 1984 Christmas stamp 17p imperforate marginal pair with sheet margin. It has original gum and is lightly hinged. Next is rare 10D stamp purple frame and king's head omitted. It was issued in 1902. Next is 1937 to 47 9D deep olive green imperforate horizontal pair with original gum. Okay friends, thanks for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe.